And our last inductee tonight, Dennis Driscoll. Let me tell you about Coach Driscoll. Long-time coach at Natick High School, coaching girls outdoor track, boys and girls cross country, and girls indoor track. In girls outdoor track, Dennis Driscoll was an assistant coach for 28 seasons, from 1984 to 2011. In boys and girls cross country, Dennis was the head coach for 12 seasons, from 99 to 2010. During his tenure as head coach, the boys cross country teams amassed a record of 70 wins and 70 losses. However, during his tenure as head coach of the girls cross country, Dennis Driscoll amassed an impressive record of 108 wins and only 32 losses. During his time as head coach of the boys and girls cross-country teams, there was one undefeated season, 3 Harrogate Division Championships, 3 teams that were all-state meet qualifiers, and 14 individuals who were also all-state meet qualifiers. In girls indoor track, Coach Driscoll was the head coach for 23 seasons, from the indoor season of the 88-89 to the indoor season of 2010-11. During his tenure as head coach, the girls' indoor track teams amassed a record 106 wins, 45 losses, and 1 tie. There were 4 undefeated seasons, an undefeated streak of 30 meets from January 1999 through January 2003, 7 Harrogate Division Championships, 2 MIAA Division State Championships, one in 2000, the other 2002, and 3 Massachusetts State Track Coaches Association State Relay Championships, 2 of them back-to-back in 2000 and 2001, and the 3rd in 2004. And there were many honors bestowed to Dennis Driscoll during his coaching career, including the Mahon Cross Country Racing Series Coach of the Year Award in 1999, the Massachusetts State Track Coaches Association Cross Country Coach of the Year Award in 2001, and the Metro West Daily News Indoor Track Coach of the Year Award in 2002. 2015 Natick High School Athletic Hall of Fame inductee. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Dennis Driscoll.
Dennis Driscoll was a longtime coach at Natick High School, coaching girls outdoor track, boys and girls cross country, and girls indoor track. In girls outdoor track, Dennis Driscoll was an assistant coach for 28 seasons, from 1984 to 2011. In boys and girls cross country, Dennis Driscoll was the head coach for 12 seasons, from 1999 to 2010. During his tenure as head coach, the boys' cross-country teams amassed a record of 70 wins and 70 losses. However, during his tenure as head coach of the girls' cross-country team, Dennis Driscoll amassed an impressive record of 108 wins and only 32 losses. During his time as head coach of the boys and girls cross-country teams, there was 1 undefeated season, 3 Harrogate Division Championships, 3 teams that were all-state meet qualifiers, and 14 individuals who were also all-state meet qualifiers. In girls indoor track, Dennis Driscoll was the head coach for 23 seasons, from the indoor season of 1988-89 to the indoor season of 2010-2011. During his tenure as head coach, the girls' indoor track teams amassed a record of 106 wins, 45 losses, and 1 tie. There were 4 undefeated seasons, an undefeated streak of 30 meets from January 1999 through January 2003, 7 Harrogate Division Championships, 2 MIAA Divisional State Championships, one in 2000, the other in 2002, and 3 Massachusetts State Track Coaches Association State Relay Championships, 2 of them back-to-back in 2000 and 2001, and the 3rd one in 2004. There were many honors bestowed to Dennis Driscoll during his coaching career, including the Mahon Cross Country Racing Series Coach of the Year Award in 1999, the Massachusetts State Track Coaches Association Cross Country Coach of the Year Award in 2001, and the Metro West Daily News Indoor Track Coach of the Year Award in 2002. 2015 Natick High School Athletic Hall of Fame inductee, Coach Dennis Driscoll.
Thank you. I promise to make this quick. True story, I've got a 6 o'clock tea time on the Cape tomorrow. I'm not kidding. First, I want to congratulate all of the other inductees, and especially Ashley over here, who I had the pleasure of coaching. One correction, Ashley. You mentioned the bus ride and the honking of the horns. I think that was because of Angie's driving and not because we were state champs. Just saying. Kind of got used to that after a while. And also the track team, the guys' track team. I'm sure you don't remember this, but I was actually a graduate of Needham High School, graduated in 1971. Wait a minute, come on, give me a chance. But I graduated in 71, and I ran into an outdoor, so I'm sure we crossed paths on the track. Thank goodness I got out of there in 71 because I didn't run into that juggernaut that obviously you guys became. And just so you know, I know you guys are moaning when I mentioned Needham. My dad was a graduate of Natick High School, and I spent a lot of time in Natick because that side of the family was still here. Any Driscolls or Fitzgeralds that some of you might have encountered at Natick High School are probably cousins of mine. So I did spend more time in Natick than any place other than Needham growing up. I want to thank the committee for this terrific honor, especially Tara for all the help getting me here and making sure I got here and convincing me that this was legit. Still not sure. I want to thank Matt Strother for throwing my name in the hat. I'm not sure, a moment of weakness, I guess, for Matt, but he did it, and here I am. A lot of other people to thank, and I obviously won't touch on everybody, but let me just hit a few highlights. I want to thank, let's go down the chain of command. I want to start with Dr. Joe Keefe, who was the superintendent that hired me in Natick many years ago as a math teacher at Wilson Junior High School. It was Wilson Junior High School at the time. Without him, I wouldn't be here, so he got me started in this. Obviously, I've had the pleasure of working for terrific athletic directors. First, the late John Carroll, who hired me to be the coach and also gave me my first head coaching job. Again, I'm forever grateful to him for getting me started on that. And the other athletic directors that I worked for, Paul Peters, Tom Lamb, Tim Collins, you couldn't ask for better ADs to work for. You know, in many of our conversations, the typical question they would always ask me is, what can the athletic director do to help you and your team be successful? And when you have support like that from that office, you can't help but have some success. What many of you, even though I'm up here, there's a lot of talk about track and cross country. My first coaching job in Natick was actually as a basketball coach at Wilson Junior High. I knew I wanted to coach, and they were looking for an assistant or a junior varsity coach at that time for the team down there, and I threw my name in the hat and got the job. Fortunately, John Hughes was the head coach, and he taught me how to coach basketball. I knew I wanted to coach, and I enjoyed playing basketball, but I didn't have the technical background necessary, so he helped me out a lot. And anybody here who wants to know what a rookie coach was like, especially somebody who didn't know very well the sport they were doing, just talk to Mike Fair, because he was on that team, and he'll tell you all about it, I'm sure. Go easy on me, Mike, okay? Fortunately, shortly after that, a track coaching position opened up here at the high school in the spring with the outdoor track team, and again, I threw my name into the hat for that. Tom Brenneman was coaching the girls track team, and he came up to me one day at a meeting when I was attending at the high school, and we talked it over, and I got the job. I guess I was probably the only applicant, Tom. Is that how it worked out? Is it? Anyway, I got the job, and that started a long friendship with Tom and Don Burnham too. Don Burnham was part of that staff, and Tom and Don and I, over the years, we did a lot of coaching together, and have great friendships with both of those both of those guys. By the way, Walter mentioned Tom as being so supportive of the students and the athletes that he worked with. It's so true, but he was also a great mentor to me as a coach. I did have experience as a track athlete in high school and college, so I knew a little bit about the sport, but Tom helped me become a great coach at that. By the way, you know, it does feel a little odd to me to be being inducted before Tom gets inducted, but the problem is Tom refuses to quit coaching, and that's one of the requirements is to get up here. He's still coaching, but someday he'll be up here and I'll be down there making fun of him. We did have a lot of success, the outdoor teams, thanks to coaches like Tom and Matt Strother, who I worked with also. The indoor track teams, state championships a couple times, the state relay championships. You know, we could, you know, there's a lot to say. Cross country, terrific. You know, Ashley in cross country and indoor track and outdoor track, and a lot of other terrific athletes like her. We've got a few others here tonight, Ryan Miller, Anthony Vitale, several others. Thanks, by the way, to all of you former student athletes of mine who came tonight for your support. Very, very, very much appreciated. But all of the success of all those teams, and I think any coach will tell you this, there's two good reasons why any coach is going to have success. And today, I tell you, as I'm standing up here, I'm standing on the backs of first all of those student athletes. We had tremendously talented young ladies and young men on those teams. Not only had the athletic ability and the athletic talent, but they worked hard, self-discipline, all the types of things you need. And you know, that's a huge part of it, and any coach will tell you that. The other part is the coaching staffs that I work with. I'm not going to name them, but again, there are several in the room tonight. I was fortunate enough to have staffs of coaches who really, really, really knew what they were doing. This is not like a one-man show. It may have been back in the day, but by the time I came along, fortunately, we had nice support and a great group of coaches that I worked with over the years. So tonight, I'm standing on the backs of those athletes and those coaches. Couple of final things. I want to, again, any coach will tell you that among the sacrifices that you have to make to be a successful coach is you sacrifice some things on the family end. And, you know, my kids, my son Paul, my son Megan, my daughter Megan, I should say, she's not here. She won't know about this. Actually, she will, because my daughter Kelsey is here, and she's going to text her right now and tell her that I know that's what's going to happen. So, anyway, but you know, those three kids at home, because I was also teaching, and a lot of teachers, of course, do their preparation work at the end of the school day. I couldn't do that because of my coaching requirements. I would get in early in the morning and do it. I'd often get to the high school at 6 or 6:15, which meant that I was leaving home before the kids were awake at home. And then I'd get home, sometimes in time for dinner, more often than not, probably a little late for dinner. So I didn't get to have dinner with the family either because I was, you know, finishing up things here on this end with the teams. And if it was a night when there was a cross-country meet, or excuse me, or an indoor track meet is really what I meant to say, because those would go late into the evenings. I wouldn't get home until they were in bed, so I wouldn't see them all day. So my kids made the sacrifice of not having their dad around. I hope they say that they would have preferred that I was there, but I don't know. You'll have to ask them. I know what Megan's going to say now anyway. But you know, they made that sacrifice, and I appreciate that they tolerated that for me. Obviously, that meant the bulk of everything fell on my wife, Susan. The love of my life over here was with me today because she was taking care of business at home. Best thing that ever happened to me is that young lady right there. I'm almost done. A couple quick other thank yous. I want to, again, mention some people that most of you probably never heard of. The first two, Walter Shields and Neil DeRoss, and they were my coaches at Needham High School when I was in high school. They were both math teachers, and then Neil was my cross-country coach, and Walt was my indoor track and outdoor track coach. And it's not a coincidence that I ended up being a math teacher and a cross-country and track coach. Those guys were great inspiration to me and great role models, and I thank them for everything that they gave me. And finally, I should also add, by the way, before I get to the last one, I should also add Jerry Gravel. Some of you might have known Jerry Gravel at Westfield State. He was my college coach, cutting-edge coach, learned a ton from that guy, and I thank him for everything that he gave me, too. My final thanks will go to my parents, my mother and father. They're no longer with us, but I wouldn't be here, and I know everybody knows this. We're all the same way. You know, we are some of the influences of people that we meet in our lives and that we encounter, and usually, in my case especially, my parents, their support and love are a huge, huge reason for why I'm here. And I know they're both happy to see me up here, my dad especially, as a Natick High grad. So thanks again to everybody. And I also want to wish the moms out there a happy Mother's Day. And for anybody that I forgot, you know who you are. I apologize, but thank you.